Skill 8 is recognizing when the buyer is ready to buy. They actually will shift. We call it the buyer's shift. And know how to close the sale. We know from doing this for over 20 years and trained over 50,000 salespeople that this skill, closing, is actually the weakest skill out of all 10. And one of the reasons why it's the weakest skill is, one, a lot of salespeople aren't trained to look for that buyer's shift, so they might close too quickly or never close. Two, another reason why this might be the weakest skill is that salespeople tend to focus a little too much on closing the deal instead of closing the next step. Well, eventually the next step will be the closing of the deal, but there's gotta be closes along the way. Think of football. You have to get the first down before we can get the touchdown. Another reason why this is the weakest skill among salespeople is that most salespeople have not been trained on the 6 closing principles. A couple examples of these principles are things like you never want to close too quickly. It can come across as pushy. We also don't want to sell after the closed sale. After we're closed the sale and get agreement, or if we've gotten agreement to the next step, change the conversation to something else. Don't keep selling. And another example would be one that I see very often is be definitive with what next step is next. A lot of times salespeople feel that they get nervous when it's time to close and say things like, "Great, I'll follow up with you soon," or "I'll get right back to you." Well, that's not clearly defining a next step. So you want to be more definitive with what exactly we're agreeing to. At our workshops, we spend a lot of time on Skill 8. We want to solidify your understanding of confirming the next step along the way. And we even share with you a 4-step process of how to prepare before a meeting and what to look for during the meeting so that you're guaranteed to confirm that next step with the customer. Again, it won't always be the end deal, the big deal, but you'll at least know where you stand in the sales process. And more importantly, so will your customer.